Doc's Daily, what the hell is happening on a Thursday, February 5th? We are live, full effect. Joined with Robert Faringo, as always, Thursday and Friday. Doc's Daily's here, Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern, Saturday, 11 o'clock. Don't forget about the free $60 account. Link is in the description of the video. Use that free $60 on Robert Faringo's premium plays. I just realized my light is out. Sorry about that. Use that on his premium plays. I'm sure he's got a ton going on this weekend. Although I did hear you're traveling, going to Costa Rica for a wedding, stuff like that. So we will miss you. Are you going to do videos in Costa Rica?
I still got a couple weeks before that.
Yeah,
that
that's like 2 weeks, right?
Around the 17th. Like to try and get away after the end of football season.
I don't blame you.
Could use to get away from every sport right now, except for hockey. Somehow I know the least about hockey, and I'm the best hockey handicapper ever. So
I'm gonna miss hockey for 3 weeks. After today, I mean, today's the last day of hockey, so tread lightly in the hockey. There's some players that probably have. I read somewhere yesterday that there's some NHL players that they've chartered their own airfare to Italy because they want to travel ahead of the team to be part of the Olympic.
Sure. Yeah.
What do they call that? The ceremony. Thank you. The ceremony, the torch thing. So, I don't know if there's some people maybe checked out mentally.
I'm kind of kicking myself because my top play yesterday was Vegas minus 1.5. That should have been a 7-unit play. Just exactly what you're talking about. Like Vancouver had an off day before that, and yesterday was their last game before the break, and they're in Vegas and they're Vancouver. So, how focused do you think those guys were on that game? And it played out pretty much exactly like I expected. And I shouldn't have been as gun shy, but I'd lost like 3 out of the 4 days before that. So it just kind of pulling my punches a little bit, but went for plus 1,000 on the ice yesterday. So that was a nice way to kind of end it. I want to ask you, what do you think, not really of the trade, but kind of the impacts? Like, how do you think the Rangers play tonight after making their big deal yesterday?
I don't think anything's going to happen. Like, I don't think it's going to be great today. I don't think today matters, to be honest with you, in the NHL. I think a lot of these, I just don't think we're going to get a lot of effort or we're going to get nothing but effort out of it. And I could be completely wrong. I don't think it affects them till later on down the road.
Can they play worse? Can they play worse? I guess.
I don't know. I
guess that's the question. They've been pretty bad. Like maybe this is
kiss of death, though. When you say that, can they play worse? Yes,
right.
yes, they can.
Maybe this, maybe they rally today after trading one of their best players, or maybe they just mail it in a big way. That's one to watch for today.
You just knew he was on the block, though. I mean, you knew you kind of you've been hearing about it, so. If you're a Rangers fan, does it suck? Yeah, I think it sucks, but it's like if they told me today Tarek Skubal was traded, I'm not going to be surprised. I mean, I see that coming down the pipe. Big moves in the MLB last night so I had to break out the Tigers jersey for you guys today. Framer Valdez going to the Tigers. I mean, best available pitcher on the market right now, I guess, but I don't know. There's people telling me, you should be happy. The Tigers are going to be all in for 1 year. If you're a lifelong Tigers fan, that's not how this is going to work.
Right.
All this means is Skubal's for sure gone. He's for sure out the door. Whether it's this year, next year, whatever. I personally don't think he'll make it. I don't think he pitches another pitch. I don't think he pitches again in a Tiger uniform. I said that last year at the end of it. I think they move him before opening day. Thank you. I don't know why I can't talk today.
That's all right. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't do baseball hot stove. I can't wrap my brain out. There's too much Super Bowl, college basketball, NBA, NHL, props, English Premier League. There's two, and just knowing that for like 4 months, other than the World Cup, and like some random WNBA, that's all we're going to be talking about. So like, I refuse. I'm on several like Mets text threads that these guys literally every day they're texting about the Mets. I don't think I've responded to it. since they got eliminated. I'm not kidding.
I know, it's fair.
Call me in March, like 3 weeks before the season. I'll be like, okay, who got traded where? Who's here? What's going on? What's going on? I can't do it.
I muted my NFL chat, my Lions chat group on Christmas Day. Christmas Day, when they lost Christmas Day, I muted the whole thing. I haven't responded since.
Right.
I'm done. Like, that's it. I don't want to talk about Lion football.
I can't. It's like with all the offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators and the head coaches being hired. I'm not going to follow the day-to-day drama and the rumors and stuff like that. Like, call me when it's musical chairs. When the music stops, I'll look at it and I'll analyze who went where and what I like. But like all these snap judgments, and frankly, it's been similar with the NBA trade deadline. Like, everyone's texts are blowing up because James Harden got traded or Anthony Davis got traded. Like, my question with a lot of these guys is like, who wants Anthony Davis right now? Like,
I thought that too when I saw that come across.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, and I was like, who's? I'll be honest with you, I guess I don't follow NBA that much, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't think Anthony Davis was still relevant.
He's not.
I still I don't know how James Harden is still relevant.
He's not. Like that's what I'm saying. These guys are old. They're expensive. They're not going to do anything with their new team. Same thing with Porzingis. Oh, Porzingis to the Warriors. Big shot in the arm for the Warriors. No, he's not. He's always hurt. He's always hurt. Like he's not going to do anything to build up the Warriors. He's going to play a couple of games. He's going to have 1 week where he plays 3 games and they win all 3 games and they beat the Timberwolves by 30 or they beat the Lakers by 20 and everyone's going to be like, oh, look out for this team. And then he's going to stub his big toe and he's not going to play. Like all these guys, like I haven't seen a seriously impactful move yet. It's always going to be those little guys around the edges that come in and assume roles as role players that are really gonna bolster things. Like people talk about Detroit and how the Pistons have really leveled up. One of the best moves that they made,
getting rid of Javen Ivey.
Well, that's a different thing. I'm talking about like more in the off season. Like, what's the difference between them last year and they added Duncan Robinson. Right. Yeah. Like Duncan Robinson's been awesome for them. Like I was always arguing with Miami. Like everybody goes gaga about Tyler Hero. I think Duncan Robinson is like just about as good as Tyler Hero. You know what I mean? Like one of them gets more hype and gets more money, but like Duncan Robinson on a minute by minute basis. So it's those little moves that I'm kind of looking for. And then it's also just looking at teams like the Bulls. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their roster is supposed to be.
I don't know what. Yeah, they just phoned it in for sure. I was happy with the Hooter. I don't know how Kevin Hooter. I call him Hooter.
Kevin Hooter.
Yeah, he's Hooter forever for me. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, he's a shooter. I'll take a 3-point shooter. Oh,
he's good.
If I was gonna ask for anything, I wanted to Jaden Ivey out of there. I didn't like that, but I mean. I don't think there's any big moves in the NBA that was going to – if I'm looking for a reason not to bet the NBA, I don't really need one. It's no betting allowed for me. That's what I call the NBA until the playoffs, and then it's nothing but action.
That's how I felt yesterday. Like I didn't have anything yesterday because I knew that there was going to be a lot of movements and a lot of big line swings.
Right.
So I sat yesterday out, and I was going to sit today out too, but looking at the games and looking at the teams – I don't think there's going to be anything big that happens in the next 2 hours. I don't think Giannis is going anywhere. Again, it's going to be like a lot of shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic type of stuff. But going back to the Kevin Huerter thing, like I love that move for them. Same thing. Like a couple of years ago, you remember when Sacramento like came out of nowhere and had that big run and they were lighting the thing or whatever. Like they signed Kevin Huerter. Atlanta couldn't afford him. They signed him to like a mid-level deal or whatever, and he was awesome for the Kings. He completely transformed that offense for them. Like it's always those guys around the edges that fill things out and make more meaningful impacts. Because when it comes to the superstars, the books are all over that. They're all over that. Yeah. Like a big name moves, they're changing the numbers. But these role players, these guys off the bench, these 3-and-D guys, they might not move the meter, but they're the ones who make the impact. Look at the Mavericks a couple of years ago. Like when they made it to the finals, it wasn't like they just went out and got a bunch of big men. They got PJ Washington, they got Daniel Gafford. Nobody was like gaga about those moves.
Yeah, that wasn't
right. But it completely changed their team. By the way, me and my son were talking about Hooters the other day. Like I had to take him to the doctor for something. We were driving by and he was like, why don't we go there for lunch? Ha. Like he's in 7th grade. So he's in on the joke now. And I'm just like, I can't believe those places even exist. Like, that's funny. Like he said this weekend, maybe we should stop at one for a soccer tournament.
My true story, my first wife, I've only been married twice, my current wife and my first wife. Okay. It sounds so bad to say my ex-wife, but whatever. My oldest son, I took him, he was like 8th grade, like getting out of 8th grade kind of situation before high school. We went there like half a day. I picked him up from school and we went for lunch. I'll tell you right now, good food, Hooters. I'm not a big fan of their wings. They got a good Philly cheesesteak. Now, this was 10 years ago. I haven't eaten at Hooters in 10 years. Yeah. I don't think I've ever eaten at a Hooters in Vegas, and I've lived out here at least 10 years. So I don't go to Hooters, ask for the Philly cheesesteak, and then bitch at me in the comments because it sucked. I'm just saying, 10 years ago, I thought it was good, you know.
Where I live, when I moved down to Georgia, okay, I live outside of Atlanta, maybe 25, 30 minutes outside of Atlanta. This was completely undeveloped country. It was like moving to the moon, right? So when I moved here, that was the only bar. It was like a Wild Wings and the Hooters. And the bartenders at the Wild Wings sucked. So it was like, I would start going to Hooters to watch football on Sunday, not because I wanted to be around Hooters, not because like any of that stuff, but because you could go there. Great service. The girls were nice. You could watch the game.
TVs everywhere.
And there were no other bars. There was just, it was like a biker bar, a Buffalo Wild Wings. I did try the biker bar. It didn't work out. It didn't work out great. Pool hustling doesn't go over great in biker bars, but so I haven't been to a Hooters in probably 18
Yeah,
right.
I couldn't say anything. Now they turned a casino out here.
Thomas is coming in hot here. Let's dive into the NHL first. Okay. He likes Los Angeles. I am a little wary of them. I think the juice is too high on Vegas. Like I said, I hit on Vegas yesterday with an easy one. Should have been a 7-unit win, but I'll take my 4-unit win. I think that money line's a little high. Like the Kings just made that trade, but remember, he's not playing for them today.
Playing tonight. Yeah, they shouldn't expect anything till March.
He's not going to make an impact in that game. So for me, that's a no play. The Kings strike me as the type of team that's getting real. They're going to get real excited about a stretch run. I don't know if that's going to benefit them tonight. You also have to worry about, like I said yesterday with Vancouver, one of my thoughts were this was Vancouver's last game. How many guys are going to play that game and then hang out in Vegas for a couple of days? And I'm like, you know what I mean? They got a 3-week break. They're not going to the Olympics. Like same thing with some of the Kings, like
Vancouver, Vegas. I mean, I don't know where I'd rather be, but
it sounds silly, but like these guys with the Kings, it could be a similar situation. Like they're like, hey, we're going to play this game, and then we're here for a long weekend to blow off some steam. So how focused are they really in that game? I know one of the guys I know really likes Ottawa tonight. Philadelphia tonight. Philadelphia is kind of a sinking ship. I right when I got on board with them, Hextall kind of won me over in November and early December when they were playing really well. Now Philadelphia is just as bad as I expected them to be this year. So it's kind of like no bet against Philadelphia is a bad bet right now. I don't know if I love Ottawa on the road favorite role, but I can get behind that one.
There's some dogs tonight. I think so I have to look at the NHL like this today. Like for the exact reasons you just said. There's some people in Vancouver that are still partying from last night before they go home after that Golden Knights game. There's some teams that are checked out, won't matter. This Tampa Bay Lightning game and the Florida Panthers game is the best game on the board today. Okay, because that matters. I think the thing with Florida, who's a sinking ship as well, they've been injury bugged. They had a tough game yesterday. They win against Boston in a shootout. And if you watch that game, you kind of felt like the season for Florida just flipped exactly right there. They got a few people back, getting a little bit healthier, played a scrappy game against Boston. I get that they're in a back-to-back, But I'm telling you right now, I'm not afraid to take the Florida Panthers today. I think they're a live dog against Tampa. And I know how good Tampa is at home. And I know this is an in-state rivalry, but this is the kind of spark that Florida needs to be competitive. Hockey's a long season. It's not over. Just because the standings are what they are right now, it doesn't mean I mean, there's a shot my Red Wings don't even make the playoffs still in the back of my head. So, I like the Florida Panthers. The Senators were alive. In me, for the Senators, you either take them in regulation at about 120, plus 120, or you don't play them at all. That's where it's at for me. I did do like a Kings. I did do I know you're anti-parlay. I did do a 2-team parlay. Puck line. Florida puck line. Kings puck line. Take both teams plus a goal and a half. It was like plus 135.
See, I like that. I like that better. Most of the time, why I'm against this is people just grab the two biggest favorites.
Yeah,
right?
no,
and we'll throw them into a parlay. Like you got two live dogs plus you're getting goals in both of those games. Right. And around the minus 130, that's reasonable. That's reasonable to me. Like,
I think that's smart parlay.
Yes, I can appreciate the value of that play. And you know what? I thought the same thing last night when I saw that Tampa Bay Florida. Like the overnight line on that was Tampa Bay like minus 200, minus 210. So that's actually come down. And for all the reasons that you said, I can see Florida here. Like, it is an in-state rivalry game. They've played Tampa Bay really tough. I'm one of the few people, I think Tampa Bay has, played over its head. I don't think they're as good as their record says that they are. I'm not saying they're not a good team. When they got off to that slow start this year, I didn't think they were as bad as they were the first month of the season. But, they've kind of been playing – they're a little over their skis, and they're one of those teams that you look at. I think they've won 8 out of their last 10, right?
Yeah.
But 4 of those wins have come in shootouts or in overtime. So they're kind of riding the rail a little bit there, where I could see them falling off. And to your point, Florida, knowing that they have 3 weeks off after this, they played last night. They don't have to travel very far. They don't care. They can dig deep for one night. They got nothing to lose. Exactly. So I can get behind that one there.
I get behind that. I think there's a potential for a lot of draws today and just some scrappy hockey. But I'm the guy that I'll take a half unit times 3 draws, and I only got to hit one of them to break even. If I hit 2, we're good. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Cause they're all like plus 300, a lot of college basketball though. And I'm involved in college basketball, and it scares the shit out of me today, because there's a lot I'm involved with, and it seems to be a thing for me. I don't know if it's because you're on Thursdays or what it is, but Thursdays seem to be my heavier college basketball days, the days that I like. Maybe it's just because I like, I'm a sucker for the teams like smaller market schools. Like tonight, I love UC Santa Barbara. I love the Gauchos tonight. Just like that kind of school. If you're not watching just like any kind of smaller market, if you're just watching top 25 schools on CBS, college basketball, you're missing out, man. Watch Big Sky. Watch Conference USA for good ball. The Big West is one of my favorite. Mountain West, Big West, MAC. I could watch college basketball in all 3 of those conferences all day.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about I'm having my worst college basketball season ever. I think maybe when I, dig into it after the season, that I've gone away from the smaller conferences more this year than I ever have. That might be one of the reasons why I'm not doing well. And for me, it was just getting scared off, because there was a level of attrition in the small conferences heading into this year that I had never seen before. I mean, I'm doing my research and I'm looking at, the top 6 teams in the preseason rankings combined brought back 6 total starters from last year. You know what I mean? 24 out of 30 guys are gone. So how are we supposed to fill in these blanks here? But I'm with you. Like there is always going to be value in that. Now, They're going on the road. They're playing UC Davis. UC Davis, Jim West's team. They always shoot the ball a little bit better in their home gym. I like the momentum that Santa Barbara has. They really look like they might end. They're right there with UC Irvine. I think. Like, I'm not buying into Hawaii as much. Okay, but it could be Irvine and Santa Barbara that are fighting for the conference championship. You got all three of those teams fighting for the number one seed. Just be careful. Like UC Davis, you got those top three teams, and then UC Davis is number 4, right? So, and they get them in their home gym. You got the road favorite. I don't know, but again, that line of thinking didn't help some people last night that had New Mexico. They thought that was the sharp side of going against Utah State, and Utah State buried them last night. So,
but I was on Rice, and I couldn't tell you right now who the head coach. I couldn't name one player on Rice's basketball squad. I can't. And it was a numbers game for me, Rice in the over. So I was happy with that. I was on New Mexico yesterday. That was a winner for me, or a loser for me, I should say. And then I was on the other game. I was Detroit Mercy. Somebody mentioned that in the chat. I was on Oakland. So that did not work out. But Detroit Mercy, again, somebody said that was a homer play for me yesterday on Doc's Daily. I could not tell you where Detroit Mercy's school is, who is on their squad, what part of the ghetto it's in Detroit. I could not tell you any of that. I have no idea. I'm assuming it's in Detroit, but what the hell do I know?
Yeah, they're playing well now, but that means that their numbers are going to come down. They're going to be a team to fade the hell out of down the stretch. Like they finished Milwaukee, Green Bay, Robert Morris, Oakland. They won't win one of those games again. Detroit Mercy's head coach, Mark Montgomery. He's one of the worst head coaches in all of college basketball. I can't believe the guy has. Yeah, they play like a really quirky style. Evansville used to use a very similar style. They basically have like one designated scorer that they just kind of run all their offense through. It's weird. It's just a weird style if you don't play it, and they can trip some teams up. Now, somebody asked earlier about Vermont, that Vermont
I just pulled that game up.
I am actually going to do a free play video as soon as we're done with this. So, but you know what? I'll give it to you. You guys came here, so I'll give it to you. I am going to take Vermont. Now, I wanted this number at 6.5. I didn't love it there just because Vermont hasn't really been laying the wood to people. Like they play a lot of close games. They win a lot of close games. I get all that. However, here's the numbers for Vermont. First of all, they're 3-1 so far this year off of a loss. Okay, they lost it last time out. It was kind of a sloppy loss. I think that they're going to be in bounce back mode. They've only lost back-to-back games once this year. Their wins after a loss have come by 9, 19, and 9 points. So again, that shows me that they kind of get mad and they like to rebound after losses. With that 19-point win coming after they had lost back-to-back game. But here's the magic number for Vermont. This is a team that plays in the conference that knows that they're a one big bid league, right? They don't want to peak too early. They like to gain momentum going into that America East Conference tournament. Vermont is 31-2 straight up over the last 4 years in February. They dominate February. They've gone undefeated in 2 of the last 4 Februaries. Guess what? It's February. They're coming off of a loss. I think that they do bounce back. Again, I don't love it. That's why it wasn't on my card, because I wanted 6, 6.5, and 7.5. Doesn't seem like it'd make a big difference, but for a team that likes to play in the 60s, it could. However, I like Vermont here. They beat Maine by 5 points on the road. And, Maine's just bad. They're just bad. They're 5-18. They have one of their 5 wins came against a D3 school. Like, they're just a bad basketball team. So motivated Vermont wins by 10 points tonight.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because I for all the reasons you just said, and again, you have an abundance of college basketball knowledge. Like, you probably forgot more about college basketball than I even know about this year's squads. Okay,
yeah, but you're having a better year than I am, I bet.
I don't know about all that, but I'm just saying, I couldn't articulate for those reasons why I did not like Vermont. I wanted to take them. Mm-hmm. I would have I probably would have doubled down if that was at 5, 5.5. I probably would have jumped all over it. I did not like it. So, I'm a degenerate here. I put it in a 2-team teaser.
Okay.
Do you like, how do you feel about college basketball teasers? I don't even know if I've ever asked you this.
Well, I've
like,
used them for a long time.
Correctly,
I've used them for a long time, and
Okay.
I bet I have a losing record for them. It's more like a tick that I have now than anything else. But I do like. I lost one. I lost one last night. Who the hell did I have? Alabama. Alabama and Wichita State, both of whom I liked, both of whom won. One team covered the spread, Wichita State. They covered that by 0.5 point. So, I kind of liked it in that range. That's why I teased it down. Alabama didn't cover. They lost my teaser by 0.5 point. So, frustration. So I don't think it's a great long-term strategy, and I'm looking to get out of the teaser business. However, you nailed it. This is a perfect spot. This is a perfect situation. Why I like the teaser. You're teasing it down to 2.5. If they friggin' win by 2 points, then you just throw your hands up and say, it's just unlucky. It's just unlucky, right? But for the reasons that I mentioned, they win a lot of 6-point games. They play a lot of 7-point games. I think a teaser here is smart. Who did you tease it with? That's the problem. You're going to win the Vermont half of the teaser, but maybe
drum roll, please. Hold on, I have drum rolls. I never use my sound bites, so you're going to get a drum roll as soon as I find it here.
Nice.
Drum roll. Terrible drum roll. The bongos, but it's awesome.
Fantastic.
Cincinnati and the Bearcats. So Scott's in the chat. Scott, I took your Bearcats over the West Virginia Mountaineers today. Similar line, similar thoughts. Down closer towards the money line is where I was thinking, like a 1.5, 2 is where
I think I would have gone the other way and teased that up, just because, again, Cincinnati isn't the type of team, like, offensively, they don't blow a lot of teams out. Okay, like they're not going to lay the wood to anybody. They're more of a grinding defensive team, right? So I think the odds that they win by more than 10.5, that number's still at 5.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the odds that they win by 11 or more are pretty low. Cincinnati is also dealing with some injuries. Sincere Harris and Shona Bive are hurt. Like, they were way undermanned against Houston. They were not competitive in that game because they're shorthanded. Kirk Kriisa, unfortunately, is back for Cincinnati. Anybody that knows anything about me should know that I think Kirk Kriisa is terrible. He's one of the worst players in college basketball over the last few years. He's one of those guys where I want to see at the end of his career, I want to look at his against the spread record in games that he played in. And I bet Kirk Kriisa's teams covered like 38% of the time. So I like the West Virginia tees up to 10.5.
We'll see, Scott, you're on the other side. All year you've been Cincinnati. Now you come in here with West Virginia, Scott. By the way, honorable mention in the teaser. This is going to piss me off when you answer this correctly, because I already know it in my head. UAB today I liked as well, and I went back and forth between Cincy and UAB and who to throw in a 2-team teaser, because I feel like when I can't decide the second team, I always just throw the third team in, and then that's where I get, you're just asking for the go 2-1 in a parlay or a teaser when you have 3 teams. You're just asking for it. Like, you're just telling the gambling gods to give me the 2-1. You're asking for it. So I thought about UAB. I played it separately, but I wanted to put it in a teaser. Tell me how you should have put it in a teaser.
I played UAB today, and I wish I hadn't. I wish that play wasn't on my card. I used them. I also used Northeastern, and I used them both in a teaser. So, bad beat protection there. I don't feel great about it. By the way, looking at this West Virginia game, you might want to trump that teaser with a teaser over it. Like Mustafa Thiam, their 7'2" center. It looks like he might be out tonight. They're already without their best offensive player. So West Virginia is definitely going to be in play. Scott, I was going to talk a little bit more about this tomorrow, that Marshall versus Miami. Something interesting to me as a college basketball kind of fanatic. The Sun Belt Mid-American Conference have like a interconference battle this Saturday, right? That's why all the Sun Belt teams are playing all the MAC teams. And that's one of the better matchups, right? Like, Miami is undefeated, top 25. They're going to Marshall, which Huntington is a very difficult place to play and go to. Like a lot of things. I think I called it here on Docs Daily like 3 weeks ago, Lenny, that this was where they were gonna. Miami was going to catch that first loss.
Yeah.
However, doing a little bit of digging, the MAC has freaking owned the Sun Belt over the last few years. Like it has not been close. In this MAC Sun Belt shootout, the MAC is dominant. They've won it outright like 4 of the last 5 years. Most of the games last year were not close. And I'm talking bad teams like your Central Michigans, Eastern Michigans, Western, like the real drags, man, of the MAC. They were winning games. They were winning games on the road last year. So, Miami, their time is coming to an end. It's been a fun story. It's been a great story. Everyone's enjoyed it. But as you've seen, they've won a couple games in overtime and a couple games by just 2 points. So, like, you feel
it coming.
Yeah, you feel it coming. But it will be on my card. Marshall will be on my card just because I called it weeks ago. It's not going to be a huge play, though. What's more likely is if Miami of Ohio does win that game, I will triple down on Ohio getting points against Miami of Ohio in the game after that because they'll be in a letdown situation.
I actually had Bowling Green, Arkansas State circled in that little MAC.
That's gonna be a good game.
I think that should be like a good game. I mean, I'm also gonna watch. You mentioned my Central Michigan Chippewas. If you don't think I'm watching Central Michigan, Louisiana on Saturday, you're damn wrong. That's gonna be an ugly basketball game. And
it's gonna be a really ugly basketball game. Like Louisiana, they had a head coach, Bob Marlin, right, who was there for a very, very long time. They were a very good Sun Belt program. They fired him. They were like all offense, no defense. Okay, forever. Like you knew what you were getting out of Louisiana. Okay, they fired Bob Marlin, and like a lot of people do, they bring in like the exact opposite of what the other guy was. So now they play at one of the slowest paces in the country. Like they're still bad. They were bad with Marlin the last few years, but at least they were exciting. They were entertaining because they'd score points. Now they're just bad and boring. So yeah, that's not going to be a great game to watch.
Somebody asked about Montana, in Eastern Washington. Thoughts on that?
Lean on Montana just because they're at home, but I think it is a few too many points. This is not like Montana is right up there. They battling for the top spot in the Big Sky. They are not the best team. The two best teams are Portland State and Montana State. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind. Now, Montana has dominated this conference for so much and for so long, like them and Weber State, that you almost have to kind of pay a tax on Montana. And I think that's what we're seeing on that line tonight. It's probably 2 points higher than it should be. But again, don't get it twisted. Like it's Portland State and Montana State are the two best teams in that league. And the third best team is not Montana. I still think Idaho is the third best team. They have underperformed so far this year, like in conference play, like they're in that bloated middle. But I still think they're better. Eastern Washington, not a good team, do have a good coach. They play the second most difficult conference schedule, and they've been competitive. Their last 3 losses have come by 4, 6, and 3 points. Okay, so they're playing with teams. They lost to Montana State by 4. They lost to Idaho on the road by 3. So just kind of be careful tonight with Montana. I don't like that game. They're laying.
So that being said, you mentioned Idaho, and they play Montana State tonight. Catching 3 points, 3.5. Idaho, is that a spot you maybe jump on there? Or
no, because they're on the road. I don't Portland State, Montana State, and Idaho. I don't bet against any of those 3 teams in conference play because, like I said, I think they're the 3 best teams. I've been betting on those 3 teams in selective spots. And again, the Big Sky is one of the small conference that I have had that I still have action in. And that's why I've been looking at those 3 teams because I could just tell early on in the season. I could tell in November, December, I was like, these are the 3 best teams. They're going to be there. But that doesn't always mean, against the spread success. So what I'd be more likely to do in a situation like this, Lenny, when I have 2 teams that I like that play each other, I like to bet against the loser. Okay. So assuming Idaho loses this game, they get Montana next on Saturday. So here we go. Let's say Idaho loses to Montana State, right? And let's say Montana covers this line against Eastern Washington. The one I just told you was too high.
Right.
And then I'd be like, I will 100% be on Idaho on Saturday because you're going to see regression from both teams. Idaho's going to play a little better. Montana's not going to play as well. That number is going to go from where it should be like 3.5. It should be similar to that Montana State, where maybe you'll get Idaho at like 4.5, 5, and that's how I'll play it.
Long Island, boy, we're coming out of the woodwork with these ones. How about Long Island? Seems like a lot of points against New Haven in the NEC. I don't follow that conference.
I'm not even going to pretend. I'm not even going to pretend that I follow that conference. I could give you all kinds of NEC tidbits or whatever, but these are bad basketball teams that aren't lined a lot. So no, I don't.
Unless somebody like Robert has a play on like a school in that kind of small market, then I'm going to piggyback onto that. Other than that, it's
a double digit.
Stonehill's at.
I don't even know what the number is, but I'm guessing it's a double digit spread, right? Because LIU is the number one team in that conference. I would take the points. I would take the points. And this is, again, I don't know anything about these teams. I'm not going to pretend I know anything about these teams, but I just did a quick look. LIU is coming off a monster win, a 21-point win where they shot the lights out. Now they're a double-digit favorite against a mid-tier team. New Haven plays at one of the slowest paces in the country. They're number 359. That tells me that they're one of those teams that slows the game down, grinds on defense, uses 28 of the 30 seconds on the shot clock. It's just going to slow that game down. Long Island, what's their motivation? They know they're going to win. I bet that number should be 12. I bet it's 14. That's just
9.5.
9.5? Oh, you're not getting enough points. But I still like the 9.5. If you have to play it, I don't know why you would have to play it. Like if you're in a dark room, if you're in a dark room with guns to your head and like this is the only way they're gonna let you out, is if you correctly pick this one, I would take New Haven. Other than that, I don't know what you're doing, man. I don't know what you're doing with your money. And your money.
That's fair. Speaking of a lot of points here, Penn State. Right, Kurt? If you're in a dark room somewhere, blink twice, okay?
Right.
If you need help, just let us know.
Type the name of New Haven's mascot in the chat, and we'll alert the authorities. Okay,
got this. This is absurd. Absurd. I can't stand Michigan. I hate the Wolverines. It's not a real animal. It's blue and yellow. There is no color maize. That's corn. Penn State, I hope, beats the ever living shit out of the Wolverines today, but that won't happen.
I can't do it. I just couldn't do it. Like anybody that's been on here knows that, like, I've been on that Penn State train quite a bit. I called it on Doc's Daily last week. Somebody asked me about the Penn State game. I was like, look, I like them, but if they lose, they're going to get their first Big Ten win on Sunday. So, bet it like that. They lost that first game. They won against Minnesota. The problem for them in this matchup, if Penn State was 100% healthy, I would absolutely be taking the points, okay? Because it's one of those in-between spots for Michigan off the Michigan State game. I forget who they have coming up. Let me check real quick. Yeah, Ohio State, all right? So another rivalry game.
Yeah.
The problem for Penn State is that they might be missing. They don't have a lot of size, and they might be missing both of their big men. They had to play their last game without Ivan Juric, who is their 7-foot center. Their 6'10" guy off the bench, who would be Juric's backup, is out. He has been out for a couple of weeks, meaning that they're going to go into this game against Michigan, one of the biggest teams in the country, with one player taller than 6'8". So I know it's a big number, but no, thank you.
I looked at it. I saw the big number. I immediately, when I see too big of a number, my initial handicap reaction is to go to a team total. I just go to, maybe I'll get on team total or start looking at other routes. Penn State's team total, 68.5. Michigan's team total, I'm like, if it's anything over 90, I'll take it. They'll score 90 points. It's at 93.5. That's too much for me. I feel like I was forcing a bet there.
Sure.
So, I just,
I'm with you.
UAB.
We've seen the pendulum swing a little bit. Like there was a stretch early on in conference play where it was just take the points. Underdogs were killing it the first few weeks. Now we're seeing that pendulum swing back. Like I hit with Boston College the other day in a very similar spot to this Penn State game. Boston College was getting 27 points in Cameron Indoor against Duke. Duke was looking ahead to that North Carolina game. So I was like, look, this is a value situation. Hold your nose and take the bad team, getting a lot of points, right? And they did. They covered. They ended up losing by like 18, 19 points. But I got to tell you, it was still a little bit of a sweat. You know what I mean? And then last night, we had several teams that were in letdown situations, look-ahead situations where they won a big game, earlier in the week or the weekend and had big games. They coasted. Like Houston bombed Central Florida. Like Illinois, I thought that we'd catch some value betting against the Illinois hype. Nope, they won by 40. So it wouldn't surprise me if Michigan put the boot to Penn State if Penn State doesn't have their big guy.
In this game here, I refuse to bet on Maryland basketball. I can't get on the right side even after the game is played. That's how I feel about the Maryland Terrapins.
Yep.
They're damn.
They're bad. They're bad. They're bad at life. They're decent at defense. Like Buzz Williams teams are always going to compete. And again, like the only claim to betting on Penn State today is if you think Michigan's looking ahead to Ohio State, right? That's the only. I don't think they are. Okay.
Even if they are, they could still beat the shit out of them.
Right. But the thing is, Ohio State is 100% looking ahead to that. To that
100%,
game, right? Like they get them at home on Sunday, ranked team. Like Ohio State is very much looking past Maryland tonight. And Ohio State is not like a natural offensive team. So I don't know if I trust them to score those points. Like, honestly, I kind of look at Maryland to maybe hang around. They're just so bad. Like Maryland is just not a good
team. So bad. So that's I just again, the Big Ten, stay away today. That was my thoughts anyway. So what do you got going on tonight at the website before we bounce on out of here? I know you'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk more college basketball, probably some Super Bowl action, what we got going on, just some crazy bets. Me and Raphael talk novelty props, our favorite novelty for fun bet prop.
I'll look some of those up.
And, just some funsy stuff, color Gatorade, stuff like that.
Sure.
I have the stats on the color Gatorade going back to the 80s. I swear to God. So
I have a 7-unit NHL play going tonight. 15-6 in my last 21 NHL plays. This is my first 7-unit NHL play in like a month. So it's been a while. But I think I see a game that I really like. And I have a 7-unit play in the NBA. Like I said, I think most of the dust is settled from what we're going to see out of the trade deadline. I think I see a team tonight that is not going to hold back. And I'll just leave it at that. And also tonight I'm releasing my 8-unit daily prop of the year. Anybody that's been following my service, I've been terrible at football for the last 3 months, but I have made up for it by being unbelievable in football props. Like I'm up over 10,500 in football props since the end of September, beginning of October. I've been phenomenal with my top props, and I've been great in the Super Bowl. Like I've shown a profit in 9 of the last 10 Super Bowls, 15 of the last 18 Super Bowls. I don't know. And most of that's come from props. There's been a couple Super Bowls where I'm like, boom, Seattle's going to kill Denver. Love it. Giants. Like there's been some Super Bowls where my biggest play has been on the side of the total. This is not going to be it. I'm going to dig in on the props, and I got an 8-unit. So there you go.
Yeah, I got a lot of props going on. I mean, there's a lot I like. I went knee deep into some of them. I don't really like a side, or total, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to live bet the shit out of it. So
I will have a small side and total. And I'm actually not going to have as many props as you would normally think. Cause I don't love betting under on props. Right.
And I just bet the under.
Right. I respect the hell out of both of these defenses. I think it's going to be more of a grinding game. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of guys that pop their props. I think you're going to have a guy like DeMario Davis who ends up with like 55 yards, right? And then you're going to have 3 other guys on New England that fall way short, that have like 8 yards or 1 target and no catch. So there's not a lot of guys on both teams I trust. And I just trust both defenses. I think defenses dominate this game.
Yeah. That being said, I agree, but I like the over.
Okay.
I don't know why. As soon as that number came out, I got a small wager on the over 46. The day it came out, I just initially thought that if it's public, it is what it is. If it's
Nope.
it is what I don't know. That's just how I felt. I just, I think we could. I have one of the bet props I have already bet is defensive or special teams touchdown.
Okay.
So I think I get points off both of them. I'll be honest with you. I think both defenses could score.
Yeah, I mean, you have two turnover-prone quarterbacks. I could see one of them doing something real dumb. I could see both of them doing something real dumb. I could see
teams is really good.
I could see us both being right here, where
Yeah.
the defense dominates the game, but it goes over because those turnovers happen in a team's own side of the field. So now the offenses are dealing with short field type of stuff. Then you mix in a fluky special teams or defensive touchdown, and there you go. Neither team gets over 250 total yards,
right?
But we see 50 points scored in the game. Like I could 100% see that.
I hope both kickers kick like 9
field goals.
That's all I'm saying. Don't forget to check out Robert's Premium Plays, DocSports.com/free60. You can get that $60 if you're brand new. Use that on Robert's Premium Plays at the website. Those are his best bets. Higher unit plays, all that good stuff is at the website. There's a link in the description. You can click on it, take you right over there. It's real easy peasy. Scott's Seattle -3 over 30.5. Oh, good luck unless you're against me. 30.5.
Yeah, I don't know. 40.5.
Where you get that? Where you get that? Is that team total? Just kidding. All right. Good luck unless you're against us. We'll see you tomorrow, Docs Daily.